And Rana Berto Will is your host. Hey, 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 hey. What is wrong with my green screen? I've turned into the green man. I better get that fixed because you guys don't want to see a green man. You want to see things the way they should be seen. So, folks, I am going to fix that for you right this minute. Está bien, está mejor. Hey, didn't shave, have my shirt on. Well, at least it's my Texas engineering shirt on, but I wanted to have my Politics Done Right shirt on. But there's so much happening that I am behind. Anyhow. Well, Bridge MCP, welcome to Politics Done Right. E2247, welcome to Politics Done Right. Robert, up. Davenport, expand the court. Yes, sir. Who else have we got in the house? Para ver quién más está aquí. ¿Quién más we have? I'm scrolling up. We Yvette Avery Herodor. Beautiful Yvette is in the house. And let's see qué más tenemos aquí. ¿Qué más? ¿Quién hay olvidado? Who did I forget? I'm trying to go down. And if Bridge MCP says, Egberto, get your glasses, I'm going to say, baby, it's not my glasses. The old man's starting to get some cataracts. Okay. All right. Green screen, behave. I think this color has something to do with it. For some reason, this color has something to do with it. So let me go ahead and move that little green to a different area here. See if that looks better. Yep, that looks good. All right, let's get busy, folks. Anyhow, before I even get started, I want to thank, I have the most wonderful people around. I want to thank, para ver, lo voy a poner aquí adentro. So far, I want to go ahead and, oh, is that the wrong picture? Of course, that's the wrong picture, Egberto. That's the wrong one. Jan Goodman, thank you so kindly for supporting our trip to Pittsburgh, PA to take care of bringing the media back from net roots. Bridge MCP, muchísimas gracias, corazoncita. Love you so much. Thank you so kindly for that support. Alistair Waters, thank you so kindly for my good old GoFundMe for the next trip that we're heading back to Pittsburgh. Likewise, Bruce Pollard, Roberto Lewis, and Michael Rudnin. Thank you. Hey, look, guys. Thank you, guys. Keep it coming. We are going to get there we're going to get there to Pittsburgh. But you know what? I got a call yesterday from another organization that said, hey, we want you a couple of weeks before this event. We want you in New York. I said, great. Now, but, I can't really handle that right now. And they said, no. We are bringing you to New York. So I'm also going to be doing a little something from New York a couple of weeks before this nonprofit is also doing something. I wish Net Roots were like these guys. These guys are going to put it up and fly you, all that good stuff. So just wanted to let you know, your independent media. Notice what I'm saying here. Your independent media, Politics Done Right, that belongs to you. We are, it's a place called, let me look it up, Bridge MCP. Because, we could probably meet somewhere. Let's see if you tell me if it's close by. Para ver dónde queda. I was talking to a New York friend of mine a couple days ago. I'm looking for it right now, my friend, and I'm gonna get into the show. Bear with me, guys. But when Bridge or all my peeps ask me something, I've got to respond. So let me see where that is. All right. Have you ever heard of a place? Come on. Uh-oh. Let's see. I am looking. But anyhow, folks, you see what the Supreme Court did today? Did you see what the Supreme Court did today? They took away, come on, get out of here. Hold on, folks. I'm having a few technical difficulties here. They went ahead. All right, para ver. It's called Rhinebeck, New York, Bridge. Rhinebeck, New York. Tell me if you know where that is. I have no idea where it is. I'm not a New Yorker. Shiva Las Vegas is with us, as well as Paul Fleming. Paul Fleming is in the house. All right, let's see. Anybody else join the house? Okay, let me go down the pike now with all of you, the stuff that you guys want me to hit up first, as usual. Michael Rudnin, you're slipping, Michael. He says, today I'm away. Gonna give a couple quick number ones and then be out. See you next time. Hey, we want you, Michael. You're not messing with you, Michael. All right. Yvette Avery Herod says, good afternoon, Posse. Bridge MCP says, Governor Kathy Hochul said, the decision was a major setback in the fight against climate change. EPA's power to regulate New York's carbon emission curbed by Supreme Court. New York, the Supreme Court on Thursday limited the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to reduce greenhouse gases emissions from existing power plants, representing a significant blow to federal officials' effort to fight climate change. The court ruled in favor of a handful of Republican-led states and coal companies and said that EPA lacked the authority under the Clean Air Act to shift the nation's energy production away from coal-powered plants to cleaner alternatives such as wind and solar power. The conservative majority court, it was a 6-3 decision, which also means that Roberts, who we kind of think as a sensible one, also voted against the interests of the American... No. Voted against the interests of the world. He voted against the interest of the world. Okay. That is why the filibuster has to go, because this is how these people think. Continuing. Horrific human tragedy. 50 migrants found in Texas trailer die. Yes. Let me tell, I want to expand on that, Bridge MCP. I want to expand on that. And this is what I want to say. Immediately as soon as that happened, the first thing that Governor Abbott said, it's the fault of Biden, right? Here's what gets me with these problems and how Democrats handle it, right? We are in a political fight. We are in a political system. Everything is political. And if you don't understand that everything is political, you are doing a disservice to all the people in the country. Not only the people who vote for you, but the people who don't yet know that they should be voting for you. Let me explain. Immediately after that occurred, Democrats should be out en masse saying when you create policies that makes people do things illegally, this is what happens. So the death of these people are on your hands, Republican Party, Republican recessionists. You should have that. All these talking points should be ready. Instead, Republicans are always ready to say, well, the Democrats' fault is that. But here's the funny thing about it, and Moody said it yesterday in the video that I played. Democrats, progressives only need tell the truth. I mean, if we had policies that were sensible at the border, we would have this not happening. But because we cannot get past the filibuster, we can't pass sensible policies. And why can't we get past the filibuster? Because the Republicans won't let us. And thus, the death of those 50, it's now 53. The death of those 53 people coming over from south of the border, people that we need in this country right now. There are still vegetables rotting in the field. We need these folk. And not all of them are going to do that, don't get me wrong now, but a lot of them are willing to come here and do that. So we are creating inflation by having food spoilage and all of that. We are having people die from the party that calls themselves pro-life when the policies they support kill people. How can we not make this into our arguments that is the truth and let them lie about it and be successful at it? And that's what I talk about. You want to know why you need independent media that doesn't follow the old methodology that you have from the think tanks and the high price Ivy League consultants? Because look, they're not bad people. All those high price consultants that Democrats use, they're not bad people. They just don't know. And they, a lot of them are there to just collect. Like I tell you guys, when we had to pay consultants in Washington, D.C., with several of more than one organization that I've been with, I'm seeing thousands of dollars going through the garbage, in my opinion. And in my mind, there are a lot of times I would say, if I could somehow charge for what I do for free, I could make a little something and even do more because I won't have to be running to make some money otherwise. But you have these consultants that it's crazy. But you see what I'm saying? I'm glad you brought that up, Breach. That argument for the dead migrants should be turned into are you guys a pro-life party? Are you guys the obstructionist party? Then those 53 deaths are on your hands. The blood are on your hands. Davenport says, welcome, Progressive. Bridge MCP says, hey, peeps. Bridge MCP says, hey, everyone. E2247 says, Scott us today. Says, EPA doesn't have the authority to regulate greenhouse gases like Bridge mentioned earlier. Chief Justice Roberts called this decision, a.k.a. West Virginia v. EPA, a major question case that they failed. They fail. All right, continuing. Robert Davenport says, we need to expand the court. And E2247 says, imagine particularly when we do have leadership indecisive about direction to take on future coal and coal development on our nations. Such a ruling would also lead to tribes replicating that when they try to salvage what's left of their coal economy. Janine says the challenge for environmentalists is to fight harder. Look, the challenge for all of this, folks, is we've got to fight. We've got to never ever give in. That is one of the things that I talk about with everybody that I meet, right? A lot of people say, what's the point? And what I try to tell people all of the times is that is what the plutocracy wants you to ask. What's the point? Always remember that. They want you to ask, what is the point to continue fighting? It's not going to go anywhere anyway. That is what they want to put in your head. I'm going to personalize this a bit. There's a lot that has occurred in my life, right? That things were not easy. Coming from Panama and going to the Blinn College, junior college for my first year, knowing that that's not where I needed to be, and then going to the University of Texas afterwards. I'm going to tell you something. In this country, to move up, I went through hell. And there were many a times that I was told, why I do it? Why not? Why do it? From in school, being in a class where you're singled out to try to make you look foolish, trying to get you to quit engineering, not by saying, you can't do it. But a lot of different situations of people trying to get into your head to tell you, you can't. And my goal is to tell every single American citizen, every single American resident, every single person on their feet here. So for the undocumented worker here, I want to tell them you can, and it can happen, because it can happen for you to stay. No, don't sit back there and be concerned. After all, in my humble opinion, if you worked as hard as you could to get here, I'll be damned if I'm going to try to get out. Otherwise, I'll ask the indigenous people to get rid of those folks who came and took their land. So no, I'm saying we need to have our borders. Yes. Why do we need our borders? Because you don't want rushes that are uncontrollable. But if somebody is able to defeat your protection and stay here, that's the kind of person I want in this country. Somebody that can get through, baby. And to those who sit back, to women, today one of the women said on the feed here, it was the woman who takes care of guns. She said, "Why do I feel like men are always trying to tell me what to do?" And I replied to her, the mom with guns, I think that's her name. I replied to her and I said, that's because that's exactly what's happening. They're trying to tell you what to do. And I said, and the answer to that, number one, is to try to work with the women who are complicit in allowing men to do what they want with women, because a lot of women are complicit in that. And then I said there are more women than men. Put us in our place. Put us in our place. We are nowhere better, not worse, no better. But hell, do we have a lot to atone for. All men have a lot to atone for. And then to the average American citizen, they want you to believe you have zero power to control the future. It's in the hands of those with capital, those with power. No, it is not. We still have one person, one vote. It's hanging by a thread if Donald Trump and his minions work. But it's done. Her isn't incoherent dissent, and it's you who are being childish, baby. All right, I'll read that down. I'm looking at two different things here. Okay, continuing. British MCP said, end the filibuster, executive order for abortions. I agree. Janine says tribes will be a junction point. They could either last line of defense protecting our communities and responding in adequate, effective ways to mitigate and adapt to the impacts of climate change and face climate reality. It's amazing how we're destroying their environment. Or they could allow another devastating blow to the future of our children. Bridge MCP, LOL, Fuzzy Green fixed it. Yes, I did. All right, let's see what else we got here. 2021 DC Circuit Court vacated both 45 CPP repeal and ACE rules, sending the case back to the EPA for more work. Appeals Court said Clean Air Act Section 7411 doesn't require a more limited view of EPA's authority. SCOTUS today wrecked that. Yes, they did. All right, Paul Fleming says ATL checking in. Welcome, Paul Fleming. We also have West Virginia. E2247, what is that, a PDF? An opinion, supremecourt.gov opinions. Thank you for putting that out for everybody to see. Bridge, I think I told you we're in New York already. It's called Rhinebeck, let's see. Rhinebeck, New York. So you got to tell me about Rhinebeck, New York, my dear beauty. Rhinebeck is just a bit upstate, about 2.5 hours south of me, closer than Pittsburgh. All right, girlfriend. Maybe, who knows? I got to take a train from LaGuardia, I think it's going to be, to Rhinebeck. Is there a stopping point that I can get off and then get back on just to meet you, my dear? Let me know if that's a possibility. Carl Cox says, 6 conservative Supreme Court justices support anti-environmental laws, oppose voting rights, oppose consumer rights, oppose women's rights. They oppose everything. And Robert Davenport says, the pro-life court wants you to suffocate if it makes money for fossil fuel sellers. I so love the way you guys put things. You know, I got me, like I constantly say, the smartest damn people in the house. Bree says, funny enough, Rhinebeck is just outside of Kingston, New York. What's Kingston, New York again? Oh, I had a friend out there, actually. I think that's where IBM used to be, because he worked for IBM. Robert Davenport says, don't babies need clean air and water? Yes, they do. Robert, that's a smart one. Lee Grant says, it seems there's a Supreme Court decision which some people disagree with. The progressive solution for some is to abolish the court. No, the court currently is an illegitimate court that was stolen. 4 people on that Supreme Court were appointed by people who did not win the majority of the American vote. So it's illegitimate. And secondly, one of the justices were stolen because Brother McConnell decided that he was not going to constitutionally let the president assign a Supreme Court justice. He just decided to keep it open. You know, as Moody said, she said, why is it that when Republicans can do so much more with little power than Democrats can with all the power? That's why we need 4 more progressives. And so far, Herschel Walker is going down like a dog. Look, I don't call people dumb often, but it's hard not to call Herschel Walker dumb. He's a disgrace to anybody trying to run for office, Herschel Walker. And now he's down 10 points, which is good. Even sycophantic people in Georgia Just can't stoop that low. But of course, where he's really stellar is with Democrats and independents. There's still a hell of a lot of Republicans voting for him. That's why he has it's 45-35. But man, it's feeling good for Georgia. And guess who else is doing well? Stacey Abrams. She's like within the margin of error. So if we show up, like I think we are going to show up throughout the country, and specifically here in Texas, when we have a Republican Party that is so inhumane, they are so inhumane that I think a lot of people are starting to realize who they are. Conservatives play dirty. Democrats need to fight. Democratic Party leadership won't fight. Only progressive Democrats like Sanders, Warren, and AOC. Don't forget Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and all of them. There are a lot of good progressives that are fighting very hard. Bridge MCP, well, it's not some people. It's like 70% of the country. They're supposed to represent the law and will the people. They didn't try. Daniel Lado says, Lee Grant, they no longer want to play by the rules. Cheaters and Marxists all. This will not end well for anyone. They don't want to play by the rules. Who is it that held the Supreme Court justice from Obama appointing it? That is not playing by the rules. All right. Lee Grant, and by the way, okay, I know somebody going to say, well, McConnell had the right to hold back the justice if he wanted to. He had the right to do that. You're absolutely right. McConnell had the right to do that. And also, the illegitimate president, Donald Trump, and the legitimate president, Bush #1, which would not have been president at #2 to be able to appoint that Supreme Court justice, they worked within the law also. So therefore, if Democrats decide to put more people on the Supreme Court, they will also be acting by the law. It so happened that Republicans have been doing things in their interest that upset Democrats. And when Democrats decide to use Los Pelotas as expanding the court, right-sizing the court, removing the disadvantage that the illegality of the court, it's all legal. It's all constitutional. So it's not changing the game. It's not changing the game. So if you think McConnell, what he did to have the kind of Supreme Court we have today was okay, you must also think that what Democrats should do is, if in their interest, expand the court, and it should be no better or no worse than what McConnell did, than what Trump did. I mean, if you got to be honest. But now with KBJ and progressive have to praise the achievement in the court, it must get confusing. No, not at all. Not at all. It's not confusing at all. Robert Davenport says, Egberto really has a thing against consultants. LOL, couple of bad experiences and he tosses out them all. Oh my, LOL, we just need grassroots consultant power. No, I don't have it all against consultants. I have it against Washington-based consultants who ripped many people off. And look, it's not just me, Brother Davenport. There are just too many consultants out there that are not doing the job, or they're consultants for what? What do they know? They don't know the grassroots. If you're going to pay somebody, let me give an example, Robert. Let's go ahead and let's look at Harris County, Texas. We have a lot of population, South Park, Studi Wood, all these areas that have lower income, minority, whether it's be Latino, Asian, Black, or whatever. All right. The Democrats need those people to show up. There are a lot of churches in the Latino and the Black neighborhoods. There are a lot of different kind of organizations in the Asian communities I've been to all of these things, right? Because like I said, I've been on the ground, and these guys don't have, let's say, the monies to go ahead and hire a few kids on the street to go ahead and say, hey, we want you to go door to door and engage these people. There are some calculations you can do that if you touch somebody X amount of times about their vote, they're likely to come out and vote. As an example, If I door knock to somebody and I leave them a piece of paper, and that piece of paper I say, and you know what? One of our folks are going to be calling you. So you have a number. One of our folks are going to be called. You've created that bi-directional engagement. These consultants get $10,000 for saying, maybe you should do X, Y, and Z. So it's not a hate of consultants. It's a hate. It's a concern for consultants that did not earn their consultancy. That's what it is, really, Davenport. That's what it is. I've worked with consultants that did a good job. Ironically, most of those that are embedded in the communities. You can't ask a consultant in Washington, D.C. what's going on in Studiowood. And that's what a lot of times the people in the Democratic Party and other parties do. But what I find with Republicans is they're out there. I live in Kingwood, red district. They're out there. They're talking to people. They're in the churches. They have reps in the churches. We don't. If you are here illegally, a sane nation gives them two choices. Leave or we will find you and you will leave. I wish the indigenous people will do that had done that to your forefathers, Daniel Ledo. Maybe they should have said, hey, where are your papers? Leave. You see how silly that sounds? Bridge MCP says you put her down as a woman, her first incoherent descent, and it is you who are being childish babes. Oh, so I didn't see. Where was that put down? Bridge, did I miss something? Did I miss something in the feed? Tell me what are you talking about, Bridge? Let's see. Dave Smith says people like this man here get paid to divide the country. Really? I wish. Actually, you know what? I've been offered money to do exactly what you're saying, Dave. The right has approached me to turn this because of my name as well. Politics done right. They saw symbiosis and they were like, hey, there are people who would be willing to give you quite a bit of money to just change. Think about me. Here's the funny thing. I am moral. I believe in my values. But think about this. Think about what it would mean that I have thousands of blog posts out there. I have thousands of videos out there pushing the progressive message. Think about the advertisement that they can say, look at this, that pinko liberal progressive turned to the right. And then they blow you up as saying, look, he used to believe all of this. I could make a fortune. You know who did that? What's her name? Black girl. She did it. She was a staunch progressive. Help me guys. Who's a black girl that she's cute. All the guys on the right like her. I can't remember her name. When I remember her name, I'll call her out again. Uli Burr says, did you see Scudder's Oklahoma versus Castro Huerta yesterday? Indian country is part of a state, not separate from a state, no sovereignty, essentially. I saw that, and I don't think a lot of people understood that. Ula Burr, you are smart. By giving state jurisdiction, it takes away that sovereignty, that special status that they have. Wow, I tell you, I got the smartest people in the world, man. Daniel Ledo says, behaving like a child, focus on race and gender, ignoring me, much deeper point about media sycophants. Don't know what you're talking about. Okay, continuing. FTC plans an essential role in regulation of a market that works for both business and consumers alike. Pass Digital Services Oversight Act. Man, you're a person with a lot of info. All right. Breach says, Kingston is where you live in Texas. No, Kingwood, my dear beautiful lady. Kingwood. So thought it was funny. You're pretty coming home. No, it's Kingwood. Kingwood. But I get it. Let's see what else we got here. Fred Sims, Walker is what he is. That is funny. All right, what else we got here? Paul Fleming says the Texas Board of Education is making the decision to change a word, slavery and voluntary relocation. What the H is going on? Actually, there's a lot more than that they did. I mean, they made it seem in the book till one parent saw what they were trying to teach her kid, and she got irate and acted on it. Now, I don't think that's going through. All right. The Texas board, rather, the smartest damn people in the House. Laughable. Smart people do not make childish assumptions about the motivation of their opponents without a shred of evidence. Some smart people don't obfuscate an issue with deflection, ad hominem attacks, and pure speculation. So says Daniel Ledo, the guy who calls women by interesting types names and wonder why we think so special about him, that he's a special guy. Lee Grant says, the SCOTUS is run by polls. Please refer to the Constitution. The POTUS is not run by polls. I referred to the Constitution, and it is okay. After referring to the Constitution, I realized that it was okay for Democrats right now to kill the filibuster and immediately expand the court. That passes perfect constitutional grounds. And I wish they would. I wish they would do it right now. Robert Davenport says, do not forget they are active in voter nullification. Yes, they love it, man. They love it. They love it. They love it. All right. What else we got here? Robert Davenport. Oh, wait. E2247 says, if you only have Republican senators or live in the underrepresented District of Columbia, tweet at Senate Majority Leader Schumer to use his power and urgently bring a climate of justice bill to vote. Again, when Republicans have little power, they still accomplish much. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Robert Davenport says, technically right is still morally wrong. Yeah, I agree. Carl Cox, pack the court to bleep with conservatives. No, don't call it pack the court, though, my brother Carl Cox. They do that. We simply make the court right. Correct. All right. Breeze MCP says, I know, Lee, that comes out wrong. Robert Davenport says, Carl Cox got it on target. What did he get on target? Daniel Ledo only believes that the rules of the game applies to liberal Democrats, not conservatives. I don't think so. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Lee Grant says, involuntary relocation is when you kick a teenager out of the house. Among other things, I believe. Davenport says, Dennis Miller sold out for cash. Yes, I know. Dennis Miller used to be a staunch Democrat. A staunch, I'm not even talking Democrat, a staunch progressive. But money, those guys have a lot of money, I tell you that. I mean, if you think it's easy, let me tell you something. And it's, by the way, they've contacted me more than once to switch my ideology. I didn't even have to do it in real, right? Just switch the way I talk on these issues. And, you know, I'm going to tell you something. It never crossed my mind to ever say yes. But my thing was like, wow, how easy it would be. Egberto Willis, my comment about putting her down as a woman was from this. Facebook, Daniel Ledo, wait until her first incoherent dissenting opinion. They will all hail it as the most amazing dissenting ever. They're as predictable as children. You know what? Here's what they forget. And what I'm going to do, Bridge MCP, is I'm going to bring up an article here, because what happens a lot of times with guys like Daniel Ledo, they're so ill-informed, right? They don't understand. And luckily today, I wrote something on Miss, today she got sworn in, and I'm going to play the swearing ceremony. But also what I did today is I wrote an article about her. And in the article, I referenced a previous article that I wrote about her. So let's educate Daniel Ledo. Let's and thank you for bringing that up, Bridge MCP, because I think Daniel Ledo needs some education. Of all the Supreme Court justices, right? Those are their accolades that you see on that screen right there. You see, when you're black, or when you're a minority, or when you're a woman, guys like Daniel Ledo, like I told you guys when I started working for NASA and other oil companies, I always knew that a lot of people thought I was some affirmative action hire, right? I knew it. They thought I was some kind of an Hey, where did it go? Uh-oh. I lost the chat, guys. It logged me out for some reason. I lost the chat. Let's see if I can reload, but I lost the chat, which means I'm going to lose all your messages. Damn it. I didn't do it. It happened on both channels. That is strange. That is completely strange that it would happen on both channels at the same time. I think the system is having the thing that aggregate all our chats. They must be having problems because I lost the chat and it's not coming in. Bear with me a second, then I'm going to come with what I have on the screen. I got to, oh boy, let's see if I can log back in. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to try to get back into the chat and see if it'll let me in. But note that the major, let's see, I got to go. Okay, oops, something went wrong. Something happened. Okay. It looks like the chat system went down. I'm going to have to monitor. It looks like I'm going to have to try to monitor the chats individually now. That's going to be difficult as hell. Bear with me, guys. Bear with me so I can look into the different chats. Because the chat aggregator is gone. All right, let's see if I can do that. Oh my God, I have nothing to do with this, people. I had absolutely niet to do with this. I'm going to try to see if it's going to come back up, but it messed up one at a time. Okay, let me try with the two-factor authentication. I got to get to the two-factor authentication here. I make sure to do all of that to protect all of you. Make sure we got two-factor authentication. All right, let's see. This is Restream.io. I got that one. That factor is that, and that. Okay, let's see if it'll allow me to log back in. All right, the chat is back up, but I've lost all of your messages. Is gone. It's just in the individual areas, folks. So forgive me. Start putting messages in there again, people. Please do. Start putting messages in there again. Because I actually lost them. So if there's anything that you put in there that I hadn't gotten to yet, please go ahead and add it. I'm logging in again. Egberto, Bridge MCP, you were chatting, sharing. Oh, thank you. It's time. Let me go ahead and I tell you what, Bridge, I'm going to do that ask in a minute. But before I do the ask, I want to school Mr. Ledo. That blue thing that you have on the screen. Thank you very much, Robert, E2247, and Bridge for starting back up with the feed. All right. Look at public education. Jackson, true. Ivy League Law School. Yes, summa cum laude. Carrier, Supreme Court check-in. Public defender, sentencing commission, district judge, court of appeals judge. Thomas only had an Ivy League education and a court of appeals judge. Breyer had a few of them. Roberts just had 3 of her outstanding things. Alito had 3. Sotomayor had 3. Kagan had 3. Gorsuch, 3. Kavanaugh, 3. And Barrett, just about nothing, 2. Supreme Court clerking and Court of Judge Appeals. What I'm trying to tell you is this. Here we have, when it comes to a career in justice, we have Brown Jackson rings around all the other justices, right? And then we have somebody like Daniel Ledo make a silly statement to assume that somehow she is some undeserving woman serving on the court when her qualifications bypass all of the current serving justices on the Supreme Court. And that wasn't by accident, okay? Let me tell you something that I'm going to tell you guys something that occurs in the Black community, in the Latino community. Whenever professionals from those communities are going out, their parents, their advisors, whether white or Black or otherwise, would always tell them, remember, when you go out there, you will be judged differently. And as such, you must perform differently. It's not fair. It's how it is. And I lived that with the 5 different corporations I worked for. All right? Until I went on my own. And even as I went on my own, I continue to live through that. But thank you, Vrish, for reminding me. Let's go ahead and do my ask right now.
Politics done right depends on you to keep doing what we do. What do? We make sure to keep, number one, the internet seeded with blogs and information to counter the right and to present what progressives represent for the benefit of us all to everybody so that it's not misread, misled by any other entity. We make sure and populate that internet with blogs, with videos, with all these other things to make sure that we are informed and to counter everything that you normally hear that are lying at the right. We also make sure to create articles in magazines, articles in newspapers all around the country to ensure, again, that our message gets out there. Last but not least, we also write books. As you see it, Class Warfare, the only resort to right-wing doom, How to Make America Utopia, are 2 of the many books that I've written on these issues. So please support us in one of many ways. Numero uno, you can support us at PayPal, either one time or monthly. Go to politicsdoneright.com/PayPal. You can support us on Patreon. That is politicsdoneright.com/Patreon. Patreon is spelled Patreon. You can support us by becoming a part of our YouTube channel, going to politicsdoneright.com/YouTube, or you can support us in many other forms that you can find at politicsdoneright.com/support. Be sure to visit our store, politicsdoneright.com/store, and get our books at politicsdoneright.com/books. Politics Done Right depends on you.
All right, folks, it did turn out that the chat server is down. I was able to log back in, but it actually kicked me out again. It seems like they are having problems at the chat server. So what I'm going to do is I think when I place inside of Facebook, it automatically goes over to YouTube. I think so. I'll start doing that in a minute as soon as I can get onto a Facebook screen here. Okay, looks like I am on a Facebook screen, but I've never done this stuff from. All right. Okay, that's how it works. How do you turn the volume down? There we go. All right. I've never done this on the Facebook screen. All right, let's continue here. All right. So, folks, I needed to point that out to Ledo because, again, it's always whenever you have somebody get a job, the first thing that folks like Ledo would try to assume is that they are not qualified for the job, right? So I think I sufficiently dispelled that fallacy with the brother. Anyhow, let's go to a video. The video that I want to show is from Lawrence O'Donnell. I was to show that yesterday. We ran out of time, so let's go with it right now. Lawrence O'Donnell nails Governor Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott really came out and said he was very happy with what the Supreme Court decision on abortions. And then, of course, Texas has some of the most draconian laws because, again, our laws against abortion doesn't even allow for if someone is a victim of incest, they still have to bring that baby to term. And watch what Lawrence O'Donnell did to Governor Greg Abbott. It was a thing of beauty. Check this out.
The largest state where women and girls have lost the constitutional right to control pregnancies is Texas. And Texans absolutely do not want to lose that right. A new Quinnipiac poll shows that 59% of Texans believe abortion should be legal in all or most cases. 79% of Texans believe that abortion should be legal for victims of rape and incest. But new abortion bans in Texas have no exception convictions for rape and incest. 12-year-old girls in Texas who are raped will have to give birth according to Texas law. If a 12-year-old girl is raped by her father, she will have to give birth to her sister according to Texas law. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has not spoken publicly about the Supreme Court decision, but he did issue a written statement, quote, "The U.S. Supreme Court correctly overturned Roe versus Wade and reinstated the right of states to protect innocent unborn children. Governor Abbott will not protect innocent 12-year-old children if they are raped." 79% of Texans say Governor Abbott is wrong about that. 79% of Texans say that victims of rape of all ages, children and adults, should have a right to end that pregnancy. You're not going to believe the governor of Texas, right? Because it's not true.
Why force a rape or incest victim to carry a pregnancy to term?
Rape is a crime, and Texas will work tirelessly to make sure that we eliminate all rapists from the streets of Texas by aggressively going out and arresting them and prosecuting them and getting them off the streets. So goal number one in the state of Texas is to eliminate rape so that no woman, no person will be a victim of rape.
That is the Texas Republican plan to make sure that no victim of rape in Texas will ever need abortion. Eliminate rape. Texas is number one. It's the second biggest state, but it's number one. California has 10 million more people than Texas. Texas is number one in forcible rapes. 13,509 victims of criminal forcible rape in a year in the state of Texas. And the governor of Texas tells the lie that he is going to eliminate rape so that no woman, no person will be a victim of rape. So 13,509 is going to become zero. I guess this is the kind of lie people like Greg Abbott think they have to tell when they are forcing 12-year-old rape victims to give birth. There is not one person in Texas, including Greg Abbott, who believes that Greg Abbott is ever going to eliminate rape. Now, Texans know what Greg Abbott looks like when he's lying. Consider the cruelty of that lie. That is a lie told in service to the Republican policy of forced birth, the Republican cruelty of forced birth, forcing raped children to have children. That is a Republican policy. And there is not one Republican in Texas or one Republican on the Supreme Court or one Republican anywhere in the country who will ever tell the truth about what they have decided to do to little girls who are raped, to women who are raped, to girls who are victims of incest. The Republican policy for rape victims is to victimize them again and force them all to give birth. We'll not find a more grotesque lie in response to that question than Greg Abbott saying that he's going to eliminate rape in the state that is number one. Texas is number one in forcible rape.
You can't make this thing up. If it weren't that these are the lives of real women and girls, it would be amusing. The silliness that this governor had to say. But these are the lives of real Texans. These are the lives of real young women, real girls. And we have men in Texas, the Republican troglodytes in Texas that intend to impose their will, their power over women. Will women get a chance to take care of that in November? Whether they choose to or not, it's up to them. But any woman voting for any Republican, whether in the state of Texas or nationally, is voting against her own rights, is voting against her own interest, is voting to ensure that the patriarchy continues to control her body, continues to control her will. And please remember that, ladies, any woman voting for a Republican going forward, until the Republican Party changes, until the Republican Party atones, You are voting against your interests. You're voting to have a man control your body. Thank you so kindly. Bridge MCP says, thanks for being you. We need more of you and the great PDR posse. Yes, and let's expand the PDR posse. Let's get more people. Thank you so kindly, Bridge. You are such a great supporter, both for our PDR posse and recently you just went ahead and supported our Netroots Nation. And I promise all of you at Netroots Nation, I'm going to make sure that everybody that I speak to, you guys see firsthand, that you guys see what the experience is going to be like when you are surrounded by a whole bunch of progressives trying to get things done. That is what we're going to be working on there. It's going to be a tiresome, but we are going to be out there really planning hard as hell. We're going to be planning for something that you know, like I tell everybody out there, you are the ones who are making all these things happen. Thank you so kindly, Bridge. Thank you so kindly, all of you that have been here for my GoFundMe. Let me just go ahead and put up the GoFundMe again and show you guys that screen of those that are there. I always like to do that. I like to give kudos to people. And by the way, friends, let me go ahead and put the Netroots GoFundMe. We're probably, I think, a fourth of the way there or something like that. But here is the GoFundMe link. I'm putting it in the chat for YouTube. I got to do it individually now. So badly. And here it is for the chat for Facebook. I've never actually put these comments in real time in the chat for Facebook and the chat for this here. I have another video. Let me see how long it is because I'm going to play those other two videos tomorrow, but I have it inside. If you want to see it right away, you can always go to the blog for the show today and you'll see it there. But please, folks, please support our Netroots GoFundMe that I just put there, politicsandright.com/Netroots, politicsandright.com/Netroots. Tell your friends about it. Tell them, hey, you know this great PDR come be a member of the PDR posse. Support us because we are going to get things done. Let me tell you. Let's see. What time is it now? What time is it? I can't see too many of the comments. Let me go on Facebook and see if I have any comments to respond to on Facebook. Lee Grant says, the chart frames your understanding. It proves nothing. Okay. And it proves nothing. She has more qualifications than all the justices on the Supreme Court. Not qualification that she says she has, but verifiable qualifications, right? And the simple answer to her having more qualifications than the rest is what my brother Lee Grant says. Lee Grant, do you understand? Okay, look at your response. The chart frames your understanding. It proves nothing. It didn't frame my understanding. We just listed the things that all these people did. That's all. That's all we did. We listed the things that they did. And not even, and I want you to think about this, Lee Grant and Ledo, for those of you who think this way. When some people sit down and say it doesn't matter what we do, how many of the rules we follow, right? For those of you who think that others are lesser or others are whatever, there's no ever pleasing you, right? It was like Barack Obama. Barack Obama had one wife. Barack Obama was a family man. Barack Obama took care of his kids. Barack Obama's kids love him. Barack Obama took care of his wife. Barack Obama followed the rules. And Barack Obama was followed by the most petulant, prostituting rapist as president of the United States. That's who followed him. And a large percentage of white America has more respect for a Donald Trump, a rapist, a man that has a whole lot of different baby mamas. All the things that these people would like to equate with a black man are the things that represent Donald Trump. Donald Trump gets respect. Donald Trump gets 60-70% of the white vote. And then you have to ask yourself, how comes Obama didn't get more? Although, to be frank, Obama got more white votes than even did Hillary Clinton, okay, in the aggregate. But the question again, and this is important, people. I want all my people to listen to this. Because you have to check your heart. You really have to check your heart. And you have to check what you really believe. And you have to be honest with yourself. If you put Obama on the same layer that you put Donald Trump, from a moral standpoint, from an achievement standpoint, from a what did you do for me standpoint, what did you do for the economy standpoint, if you put those two together and somehow you feel that Donald Trump was a better president, that Donald Trump is more honest, that Donald Trump is all these things, ask yourself why and how could you come to that conclusion, and what in you could make you think that way. Because it's not, and when I write my story that I'm writing right now about the tribulations I went through as a business person in science, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's not, people it's not easy. It's difficult as hell. In every nonprofit organization that I've been on the board, and I've been on the board many times, it's the same thing. There's this woman who came on TikTok and I wanted to cry for her. She said, I'm in Colorado right now. I'm an executive at a conference right now. And I feel invisible. I would make a comment and nobody says anything about it. My boss says something exactly the same and everybody acts as if it's something great that he's saying. And she's walking out of there and she says, she's next to tears, and I wanted to cry for her. Because I understood, I could empathize with what she was feeling. So I ask all of you that are listening to me today, ask yourself, when you're judging people on their professionalism or otherwise, how often do you inject hue in your subjective analysis? The great thing about it is I have a great audience. PDR Posse, most people get it. And hopefully in the long run, all of you that listen to the show will. But I tell you, Lee Grant, when your statement that you made there, it touched, and I need to get out of here right now. But the chart frames your understanding; it proves nothing. You just said that off the cuff, Lee Grant. You just said that off the cuff. But what I hear out of that goes deep into your mindset. That you could look at those combinations that far exceeds the others, and that was not enough. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics Done Right. You know how I end this baby. I am what? Out. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that every